Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. I hope today's been treating you well. I'm using the sparkle emoji hands today because we're getting into a lot of sparkles and the magpie in me is so excited. I actually can't wait to get into this video because I am doing a full palette tour of my full Pastel Roses collection. So I'm going to be swatching every single one of these shades. Some of these I haven't even swatched in real life, like on my skin before. Some of these I haven't even used because I'm still quite new to UK indie brands in general, and therefore still quite new to the Pastel Roses. So some of these I haven't even used yet and I am so excited. These are so beautiful. So I think some of these down at this end are Duochromes, but most of them are Multichromes. So this is what they look like. I'm trying to like angle it so that you can see what they look like, but also it's not reflecting too badly off my ring light in front of me. So I hope you can see what they look like. These 5 here are new ones from their newest collection, and the rest of them are honestly just ones that grabbed my attention. The palette that I have them in is just one that I got off eBay, not eBay, Amazon, but if I can find it I will leave it linked down below. The Pastel Roses do magnetic palettes to put your little single shadows in. I just got a cheap one off Amazon and it's like a decent one, like they do stick in very well. So I'm just gonna dive on in. I don't have these in, apart from these 5 which are the new ones, I don't have these in any sort of particular order. I am going to be putting these on, swatching them and putting them on over a little bit of the Beauty Bay eye base. This is just, what shade is this? I think it's 2. It doesn't say. I think this is 2. It's the one that's like closest to my skin tone. I'm just going to be using a little bit of that. These work incredibly well over a tacky base. I like this one or the P. Louise one. I do have 2 shades on my lid today, so 3 technically, so I've got one on the inner corner. So I will tell you what I've got on when we get to those shades. If you want to see this full face of makeup, it was posted a couple of days ago, but let's just dive straight on in. I think these are pretty much like ones that I got first to more recent ones, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I just chucked them in and hoped for the best. So let's start at the top and work our way across, starting with a couple of pinky shades. So we have got Princess, which is a pink and it almost shifts to like a goldeny shade. I do feel like these don't necessarily show up the most because I have a lot of lights on in front of me, so rather than them like catching the light at a certain angle, there's just so much light in front of me. But I will show you these under dimmed lights at the end. So let's do a little bit of primer on my arm and then we can put the shadows over the top of the primer. So you can see where I've got that primer on my hand there, and I'm just going to swipe over the top of that and you can see it's so beautifully reflective. You can see where that's like grabbed a little bit better on where that primer is. So I do recommend using a primer with these shadows. It just makes them grip so beautifully and it really intensifies the foiled effect. So that is Princess. We love her. So then next along we have got Daylily, which I have spoken about on my channel before. I only picked up this shade because the name of my wedding dress was Daylily and I wasn't necessarily instantly drawn to this shade, I'm not gonna lie. but it's one that I've worn so much. This one is slightly lighter than Princess and slightly brighter. Like when it catches the light, it's more of a yellow gold, but it is also like very much a pink. This is definitely like quite a wearable shade for me. I do wear this one just sort of how I have done today, just all across the lid. This isn't the one that I'm wearing today. Like I say, I will get into it, but this one almost shifts a little bit more greeny, like more gold. I did put a little second layer over Princess, so I will do the same for Daylily. So you can see when it catches the light, it's got more of that gold to it than this one that has, it's still got a golden hue to it, but I feel like Daylily is just a little bit more reflective and a little bit brighter when it catches the light. So for me, that makes it a little bit more wearable, where it's a little bit, I mean, this one is still wearable, I still wear it, but I feel like where this one is lighter, it makes it feel more daytime rather than something that's quite glam. So I am going to just jump around a little bit because I feel like this one over here is quite pink as well, and there's a swatch in that, but I don't remember what it looks like or what it's called. So this one is Cyber Candy. Like I say, I can't actually remember what this one looks like. Sometimes you can tell just by looking at them what sort of shade they're going to shift to. I can't tell with that one, so I'm going to put that back up over near the pinks because that just makes more sense to me. So let's go in with Cyber Candy. Okay, so I feel like when that catches the light, it's showing the pink, but when it's not catching the light, it almost just looks like a nude, like you can't really see it all that much, but the reflect is there when it catches the light. That's a really pretty shade. I don't remember using this one, honestly. Daylily, I've worn a ton, but that one I don't remember using all that much, but that's really pretty as well. Again, you can see how like smooth these are, like when they're catching the light, you can see there's no chunky glitteriness to them. They just look like a foil. They really are so pretty. So I'm going to start into more of the like purpley shades. So I'll start with this one here, which is called Magical. I actually can't remember which of these are. I know that some of them are duochromes and some of them are multichromes. I think this is a duochrome, but I could be wrong. So this is Magical Swatch, and again I will go in with a couple of layers because that's what I would do if I was wearing this on the eyes. I would, you know, build it up until it was the colour that I wanted. Yes, I do think that this is one of the duochromes, so you can see it is slightly more subtle, but when that catches the light, you can see there it's sort of a light nudie pink, but when it catches the light, it's almost going a little bit bluey greeny, but more subtle. That's more of a regular, what you might expect from other brands. And I don't mean that in a bad way, it is really beautiful, but the multichromes are where I'm gonna dabble in the future. So I'm gonna go on to the next one. So that was Magical. I'm going to go on to this next one here, which I haven't swatched because I can see that it's new. Like the pan is completely untouched. And this one is called Unicorn. And again, I think that this is a duochrome rather than a multichrome, but it almost has what I think will be a light blue shift to it. So let's do the primer and then we can swatch. So this is Unicorn. Ooh, why have I not used that one before? I will say, as I get further down my arm, it is going to be harder and harder to show you the shift because there's only so many ways that I can move my arm, but we will we will try our best. I love that shade. That's a really soft lilac, but when that's catching the light, it is catching and going like a light blue, and that's more of a like a true sort of lilac shade. I really like that though, and like I said, that's one that I haven't used before. See, this is why I'm doing this video, to give me an excuse to swatch all of my sparkly shiny things. So again, we're gonna hop around a little bit because I want to stick with the purples. I'm gonna do sort of these sort of 4 here, which are more purple. I do feel like I'm gonna have to rearrange this so that I know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done, so just give me a sec. So I've had a little wiggle around of these shades so that it just makes a little bit more sense for my brain so that I don't get confused. But I'm going to show you Prism now, and this is the one that I've got sort of across the centre of the lid, and this is one that I have probably my most worn shade out of all of these, and I do believe you will be able to see how incredibly shifty this shade is. It is beautiful, and like I say, probably my most worn shade because it's light enough where I feel like I can just sort of put it all over the lid and it's not too dark or dramatic, but also the shift is incredible. So again, we've got that Beauty Bay primer, and this is a multichrome, so I feel like this is really going to, like, that's just one swipe, this is really going to accentuate the difference between the multichrome and the duochromes. Like, it's just the smoothest foil, and the way that that catches the light and changes colour is incredible. They're so smooth, they genuinely just look like a foil. One of my other most worn shades is Dreamscape, which I feel like is quite similar, but this one almost goes more pinky. It goes from purple to more of a pink, where I feel like Prism has a bit of that like golden green effect to the way that it catches the light, where I feel like this one is a little bit more rosy pinky. So let me just put a little bit of the primer on my arm. So this one here is Dreamscape. Yes, you can see there where that is more, when it's catching the light, it's more pink. I almost feel like when it's not catching the light, yes, you can see there where Prism is more purple. When it's not catching the light, Dreamscape is more blue. But when that catches the light, Dreamscape has more of that pink. So I feel like the effect on the eye gives a purple because it's the blue into the pink. Purple is somewhere in the middle of that. Dreamscape, I think that's one of my favourites as well. I'm going to say that about every single one of these duochromes. Multichromes rather. The duochromes are beautiful as well. The duochromes really are beautiful, but I feel like the multichromes are where it's at for me. So next up we have got Starlight. Now I don't actually think I have used this one yet. I think that this one arrived broken. I will say that these are incredibly soft. You can feel as you're swatching them that they are a very soft, like a softly packed formula. So I don't think I've used this one. I could be wrong. What did I say this was? Starlight. Looks really beautiful though. I'm very excited. So Starlight swatched. Ooh, that's more pinky. Let me just put another layer over the top of this one. I feel like that primer was still a little bit wet there. Yes, so when that's not catching the light, that's more of a pink, but when it catches, that's almost got like a silver, more of a cool toned silver effect to it, where these ones definitely feel like they've got more colour behind them. This one, Starlight, has that star quality, that like silver chrome sort of effect. I'm just going to do another little layer. Yes. Like, tell me that that doesn't just bring you joy. Because I'm sorry, I know that I'm a basic bee. These bring me joy, okay? Sparkly things bring me joy. Sue me. So next up, this one is one of my favourites, but it's a bit darker. So this is Aurora Borealis, and I don't know if you can even see. Let me see if I can focus it, get closer. Yes. Can you see how that's like stripy and like loads of different colours? If you swipe into this, like going with the stripes, you can see those stripes on your eye. Like, just tap it in. It's so pretty. This is another one though that is very, very soft. So I'm going to try and do this so that you can see the stripes in the product. Yes, if I show you it on my finger there, can you see where it's like a lighter gold sort of down at the bottom, but there are stripes of purple running through it, and like loads of different shades of purple. It's almost like the other shades have been formed into these lines within one pan to create Aurora Borealis. I don't know if that's how they did it, but in my head that's how they made that. So let me see if I can swatch this. Oh, that's not the greatest swatch. I apologise, I'm going to do that again. I really feel like I've not done Aurora Borealis justice there. So I've just swirled all of those together. I really have messed up that swatch. Take my word for it that this is beautiful, okay? But you can see like down at the bottom where there's that like golden stripe there. That's all in the same swatch. Like, it's all in the same shade. But you can do it with a brush or with your finger. You can create those stripes, and it really is so beautiful. So next up, I'll go into one of the newer shades, or one of the new shades. Again, I've got this one sort of on the outer corner, but I've also got a liquid liner on, so you probably can't see it all that well. But this is Elixir of Love, and this is one of the new ones. Very dark. I could not, unless I was doing something like incredibly smoky, I wouldn't necessarily wear this all over the lid because it is very dark. However, on deeper skin tones, oh my goodness, this would be delicious. So let me swatch. Oh my gosh, my battery just died on me. Not ideal, but that primer is still a little bit tacky, so I'm gonna re-swatch. Thankfully I noticed before I did the swipe. I would have been so sad if you missed this, but this is Elixir of Love. So you can see very clearly there that that is much deeper, but so beautiful. And again, really nice and smooth and like a foil. I don't feel like this necessarily has that much of a shift. A little bit. I feel like over at this side where it's like not catching the light, yeah, you can see there it is more of like a grey, and then when it catches the light it's that really bright purple. So like I said, not one that I'm going to wear all over the lid, but one that I did tap sort of on the outer corner. I also tapped a little bit under the eyes. Really pretty. But this is one from the new collection, so it's still these 5 down at the bottom here. These are the newest ones that they have released, these 5 here. These 4 I haven't even touched before, so I'm excited to get into those. But these are definitely like deeper, darker shades that would just be the most intense juicy colour on deeper skin. I think that would look absolutely incredible. So what do I want to go into now? Because I feel like I've done all of the purples. I did that one, didn't I? So Shall we go green? Let's do it. So I have these two here, which I'm not sure if they're actually different shades. I think that these might be the same, so I'm going to swatch them next to each other. We've got Antique, which looks like this, and then this one is called Antique Bronze. But I think that these might be exactly the same once I swatch them. I ordered one, and then I think I did another order before the first order came, and I think I basically picked up two of exactly the same shade. So let's go in with Antique, which looks like this, and Antique Bronze, which looks like this. They are similar. So let's do Antique here. Oh, and again, I haven't waited long enough for that primer to dry. I'm too eager. Let me just go in with a little second layer, and then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for that primer to dry down a little bit. Don't want to go over it while it's still really, really tacky. I'm so impatient. So that one is Antique, a couple of layers, and then Antique Bronze. They're slightly different. Very, very slightly. So again, I'm just going to do another little layer. Oh, actually, as I'm layering these, I mean, they're similar. I could have just done with one of those. So Antique and Antique Bronze. I feel like when it's not catching the light, Antique Bronze is slightly browner, but when it catches the light, they are very, very similar. I definitely could have just done with one of those, and I think I would maybe, out of the two of those, say that Antique Bronze is my favourite, but both are very, very pretty. I just don't feel like, I mean, now I'm looking at it, I feel like Antique has more of a pinky to it. They're very, very similar. I'm going to do one of the new ones now, because again, I feel like this one is quite similar. This is Snakebite, and this is one of the new ones, so I haven't swatched this one before. I don't know what this one's going to look like, but primer. And I'm actually going to wait for this to dry before I go and swatch the actual shadow. So that is what Snakebite looks like, just swatched on the finger, and that primer has dried down a little bit there, so I'm just going to tap over first and then swipe. Ooh, Snakebite, hello. That's almost like a khaki browny green shade. Let me go in with a little bit more of that. I love green. If you're new here, hello. My name is Millie. I love green, I love purple. Like, I'm really into those colours at the minute, if you can't tell. But let me just do another little layer of Snakebite. Ooh. So that's definitely deeper than both of the antique shades, but again, so beautiful. I don't feel like, again, so this was one of the new shades, and this is one of the new ones as well, Snakebite. I don't feel like they necessarily have as much of a shift. I mean, it's beautiful, it's bright when it's catching the light, but I don't feel like it's got as much shift as like some of these others, but still very, very beautiful. One that I would probably use quite a lot in autumn. More of that like muddy khaki brown shade is what I love in autumn. So I've got another, I've got another three, but I'm going to get into this one next. This is Legacy, which is like a deep teal, and I'm sure on the swatches that were online this had like a purple shift, so I'm very excited about that one. Ooh, yes, I feel like I can see where that's going to like when it's not catching the light, it's going to be more purple, and then when it catches the light, it's going to be that really bright teal. Which, if you don't know, teal is my favourite colour. Not necessarily to wear, like as makeup. I don't feel like I've got too much of it. If this is as beautiful as it looks on my finger, I might just end up living in this. So that primer has dried down a little bit. Again, I'm just going to tap over to like set the primer a little bit and then swipe. How incredible. That is an incredible shade. That's, again, I'm just blown away honestly by how smooth these are. Like, to get this level of reflection but with no glitter, like no chunky glitteriness. Legacy. That might just be my new favourite. I love that. Yes, granted, it's not the most neutral wearable. I'm not usually about that. This is probably the most neutral I've been in quite some time, and even this is like purple. I absolutely love that shade. I'm very interested to see how that's going to look under more dim light. Like I say, I'm going to do that at the end. So let's just do the other couple of new shades. So we have got Pink Lemonade, which I probably should have done at the start with the rest of the pink ones, but again, this one I haven't used before, so let's see what that one looks like. So this is Pink Lemonade that I am swatching out here. Yes, I definitely should have done that shade with the other pinks up at the top, but never mind. We'll get into it now. That's a really interesting shade. I feel like here I can see that that is like a pink, but I feel like as I'm looking down on it from like this angle, so the light's like coming at a different angle, this looks really orange. That's so strange. And like I say, there is only so many ways that I can move my arm once it gets down to this end. But again, so smooth, so buttery, incredible. And then the last one from the newest collection is Love Letter, and this one is like a bronzy sort of brown shade, and I can't tell what this is going to shift to. Maybe like a pink? I don't know, but again, one that I haven't used, so let's see. Ooh, I think that this is more orangey actually. I think that Love Letter is a little bit more orangey, coppery when it's not catching the light. Can you see that? So it's not catching the light here, and then when the light gets on it, that's a really pretty shade. I don't know if I have anything like that. That's almost like a rose gold, but more orangey than that. Like more of a coppery gold. That's really, really pretty. Again though, quite dark. Not the most wearable. I don't know why I bought it. A load of these, like, I don't know why I got such dark shades. I'm definitely more drawn to the lighter shades just because I'm a fair-skinned gal and that's the sort of shades that I will get more use out of. So, can I fit 3 more swatches on here? Or do I go on to my other hand? I feel like I definitely can't do it on my other hand. So let me just get, oh no, I've got 4. I've got 4 more to go. I might have to get a little bit creative here. So next up I'm going into Lime Twist, which I have used before. It is a beautiful bright green, and when it catches the light it goes into like a true yellow gold, and I'm going to swatch these like on the other side of my arm. So we've run out of space, it's fine. But just look how intense the colour on that one is. And if I do it like this, you might be able to see it's a really intense like shift, this one. And you're probably actually going to be able to see the shift a little bit better on my wrist rather than down here where I can't like shift my arm enough to like show you the colour difference. So can you see? When that catches the light, it's like a true gold, but when it's not catching the light, it's green. It's such a beautiful shift, this one. And again, because it's brighter, it is more of a wearable tone, I suppose, where it's not too dark. I feel like the lighter ones for me are just ones that I'm reaching for more often. So next up we have got Fairy, and again I've used this one because I can see that I have, but I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember what I have for my breakfast, so no, I can't remember what these ones are. So that is Fairy there. Can you see? Yes, if I hold my hand like that, you can see. It's like a bright, almost like a neon baby blue, but then when it's not catching the light, it's almost like a light turquoise. Can you see that? Yes. This is not the best angle. Can you see? I really hope you can. Honestly, these are beautiful. I need to wear Fairy more often. I mean, you can probably see better just from like what's left on my finger actually. The shift on that. Beautiful. Did I mention I'm a magpie? Did I mention? So we've got 2 left. We can do this. We've got 2 left. I can make that work. We've got a yellow Fairy floss, which it's like a creamy sort of buttercup yellow, but this one, when it catches the light, it goes almost pink. So pretty. So that is what Fairy floss looks like. Can you see how that's got a pink hue to it, but when it's not catching the light, it's the faintest, lightest yellow, but when it catches that light, pink, almost like a corally pink. So smooth, so pretty. And finally, if you've made it to the end, we're on to our last shade. I've been filming for like an hour and a half. That is how much I ramble. I really hope that I managed to edit this down. So we've got Opal Rainbow, which just looks like white. I will give you that, it does just look like a white, but if I get real up close, can you see the stripes in that? I really hope you can. I mean, they are subtle. They are very subtle because it's like a white, but when it catches the light, you'll see all of those different shades. So, primer. So that is what Opal Rainbow looks like. I just swirled into the whole pan. I'm not gonna try and like do the stripe to show you what like each sort of area of the pan looks like. I have this shade right on the inner corner and like blended up into like the inner part of my crease. That's like the bright that you can see right on the inner corner. So if I just tap quite a bit of this over here, you might be able to see, and as it catches the light you can see like all of the different colours. So I'm doing quite a few layers of this just so that you can really see the colour. But you don't on your eyes, you don't actually need as many layers as that. So you can see it is just like a sort of slightly off-white, but it's almost got like an iridescence to it. When it catches the light, it has all of the different colours in it. So that one is Opal Rainbow, and that is my whole Pastel Roses collection. Let me go ahead and just turn all of the studio lights and everything off so that you can see these under slightly dimmer lighting. I feel like that might show you the shift a little bit better, so I'll just go ahead and do that. So this is what all of these look like just with my ring light on. Don't mind this, I've somehow managed to get micellar water on my belly. I don't know how, but this is just the ring light and like the tiny little bit of natural light that's coming in through the window, but there really isn't a lot. And if I just bob down a little bit, you can see. So beautiful. I feel like the reflection is showing up a little bit better there. And then just let me turn my ring light off. So this is just under like I say, the tiny little bit of sunlight that is coming in through the window in the corner, but that is what they look like. Trying to get them to stay in focus is not the easiest thing, whilst I'm also bent over like a prawn to try and keep these in frame. But look, this one's Daylily. How beautiful is that reflect? And then if I do that, you might be able to see the reflect just under daylight with those ones. Right, let me get all my lights back on. So that is my whole Pastel Roses collection. I would love to know if you want to see any of these on the eyes. I don't actually know if I've ever used Daylily in a video. I will have to double check, but I think out of all of them, Daylily I love, Prism I love, Dreamscape I love the opal rainbow shade as well, Lime Twist. Some of them I can actually remember the names of, and then others I'm like I can't quite remember. But I mean, you can see the difference in like the Duochromes, which are beautiful, don't get me wrong, they are beautiful, but the difference in the amount of reflection from the Duochromes to the Multichromes, I definitely feel like the Multichromes is where it's at for me. I just absolutely love this formula. If there are any that you have that you think I need, like I say, I like the lighter, brighter shades. I don't necessarily get the wear out of the deeper shades because I'm a fair-skinned gal, but if there are any that you think I will love, please do let me know. I'm definitely in the market to do another order. I always am. I need to go and dry this micellar water off my top before it leaves a mark. I really don't even know how I've managed that. But if you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down below. I am so excited to expand my collection because this has really made me appreciate how much I love these shades. So if there's any that you think I need, please leave them down below. If you like this video, if you found it useful, please give this one a big thumbs up. It really does help me out a ton when you press that thumbs up button. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.